Hello Normans, and welcome back to this week's Norman News at Home Edition Week 3. I'm Alana Morgan. Stay tuned for news on a sick tiger and updates in sports. Around the school in 30 minutes, this is the Norman News. There has been a ton of news released regarding this pandemic duration, how others have been doing, and so much more. However, some interesting news that was released and published in several publications is that the ACT and SAT upcoming tests have been canceled due to the coronavirus concerns. There was an announcement in March that high school students would be able to take the advanced placement test at home. That home test is supposed to consist of materials teachers were supposed to teach up until early March, and instead of a 2 to 3 hour exam, it would be a 45-minute at-home test. However, on April 1st, some interesting news was released that the University of California has suspended the SAT and ACT for the class of 2021, along with some other UCs as well. Make sure you're staying updated on the current news and information that's being released by colleges while we send it to Jonah with some more news.
Thanks, Alana. In recent news, the leaders of all sports organizations in America had a conference call with President Trump, who enjoys watching sports himself, and his coronavirus task force. The organizations included the MLB, NBA, WNBA, NFL, and many more American sports organizations. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, who was on the call, stated that unlike the Olympics that were postponed until next year, all sports organizations will reopen the instant the CDC allows, and the NBA is hoping to be the first one to do so. All over the country, sports organizations have been losing money due to them being shut down. This includes the NBA, which could lose up to $1 billion due to the virus. That's all for this week. Now let's send it to Jackson with this week's sports.
Thanks, Jonah. The coronavirus has made a very big impact on the world, and many are in need of help. All sporting events have been canceled due to the virus. During this time, many athletes have decided to help healthcare workers and others. Anthony Rizzo, a player for the Cubs, provided hundreds of meals to healthcare workers through the Rizzo Foundation. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, gave $5.4 million in funding for coronavirus recovery assistance through his foundation. Russell Wilson and his wife Ciara also announced that they would donate 1 million meals to a Seattle food bank. There are many other athletes who have contributed, and it is amazing what they are all doing. Now to Holden with entertainment news.
Bosworth died due to the coronavirus. She was 86 years old, and since we know that COVID-19 affects elders the worst, we can only imagine how many other seniors will be affected by this tragic pandemic. Miss Bosworth suffered from pneumonia and sadly lost her life because of it. COVID-19 continues to affect thousands of people all over the world, and the United States is leading in the number of cases. The world has been on lockdown to try and prevent as many deaths as possible so elders like Miss Bosworth won't have to suffer the way she did. Let's all hope this terrible pandemic ends soon so we can get back to the way things were.
Many fellow celebrities are keeping hope and saying we're all in this together, while Lady Gaga doesn't agree during this coronavirus pandemic. Gaga let out a statement this past Monday stating, "While I think the sentiment is nice, I also think the fight that I'm in, or that you're in, right, is very different from the fight of a woman that is in. For example, an abusive relationship with a child and her lost job, and she can't feed her kid or herself, and also can't get the help that she needs because she's in a violent situation." She also added that she's figuring out how she can help during these sad times.
Thanks, Riley. This week we're going to be talking about the new movie, Pandemic. This movie was released in April 2016, and the author was John Sweets. This movie is about how a virus outbreak plunged the world into chaos. While survivors of the virus fought to stay alive, zombies roamed the streets. With a threat to a human race, an armed rescue team targeted the undead. Recently, the cast has gotten together to do a PSA on our current situation. Supposedly, the PSA is viral and trending. That's all for this week. Now grab some popcorn, sit back, relax, and stay tuned for this week's new movie trailer.
It's time to move. Your mission is to retrieve the survivors and bring them back to the compound. You'll be with Team 314.
We're very happy to have you on board.
Safe zone open in 5, 4, 3.
Just try to think of it as a game. It'll help. How many you killed today, huh?
That wasn't a game.
Good luck.
Where did it go? Did you see it?
Thanks, Kayla. After the Ocean Park Zoo in Hong Kong closed because of the coronavirus, two pandas mated for the first time in 10 years. The two pandas, Ying Ying and Li Li, both 14 years old, attempted to mate since the year 2010, but never successfully did so. According to the zoo, on Monday, April 6 at 9 a.m., the two pandas successfully mated. The successful natural mating process today is extremely exciting for all of us, as a chance of pregnancy, said Michael Booz, Executive Director in Zoological Operations and Conservation at Ocean Park. It is too early to know if Ying Ying is pregnant. The period for giant pandas ranges from 72 to 324 days. We hope to bear wonderful pregnancy news this year and make further contributions to this conservation of this vulnerable species, Booz said. Now to Jacob with National News.
Thanks, Akira. A tiger at the Bronx Zoo in New York City has tested positive for the virus that causes COVID-19, and 6 other big cats are exhibiting symptoms consistent with the illness. The Malayan tiger named Nadia likely contracted the virus from an infected yet unknown asymptomatic zookeeper. The zoo had been closed to the public since March 16th. Several domestic animals had previously tested positive for the virus that causes COVID-19, including a Pomeranian and a German Shepherd in Hong Kong, along with a domestic cat in Belgium. Cats, both wild and domestic, are susceptible to feline coronavirus, but until recently it was unknown whether they could contract COVID-19. A new Chinese study had found that cats are able to infect each other, and scientists are rushing to learn what other species may be able to be infected by it. Here on the Norman News, we would like to remind all viewers to practice safe social distancing in an attempt to decrease the spread of the virus.
Australian researchers announced the drug ivermectin, which has been used for over 30 years in the treatment of head lice, demonstrated antiviral activity against COVID-19 in a laboratory setting. Ivermectin was able to kill the coronavirus within 48 hours, slowing down its growth. Ivermectin is an antiparasitic agent that has been around since the 1980s to treat and prevent diseases related to parasites in humans, pets, and livestock. The drug works by paralyzing invertebrate parasites. Ivermectin has demonstrated to stop other viruses, such as HIV, dengue, influenza, and Zika, at least in laboratory settings. However, don't go buy ivermectin just yet. A lot of research still needs to be done, so after that's over, then discuss with your personal physician whether you should get it or not.
Construction on Metro's Purple Line expansion expedited as coronavirus cuts traffic. Los Angeles County transportation officials are taking advantage of light traffic during the coronavirus pandemic to hasten subway construction by shutting down a section of a major thoroughfare. The closure of a couple blocks of Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills will allow contractors to advance work on the Wilshire and Rodeo station for an extension of the Purple Line subway, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority said. Completing the work sooner is expected to in turn minimize future construction impacts to local businesses during the economic recovery period that follows the pandemic, Metro said. Leaders in Beverly Hills, where high-end retailers of luxury goods on its famed Rodeo Drive have been shut down, approved the boulevard's temporary closure on March 31st. The Purple Line extension is being built and will add 9 miles to the existing route. When finished, commuters will be able to travel all the way from downtown to the Westwood area near UCLA. The line currently ends in the Wilshire Center area of Koreatown.
The coronavirus pandemic carried on this week with 39 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Beverly Hills as of Wednesday. According to the County of Los Angeles Public Health Department, LA County has 3,518 confirmed coronavirus cases and 65 total deaths as of press time. Neighboring city, West Hollywood, has confirmed 64 confirmed cases. Governor Gavin Newsom said in March that California schools are likely not going to open until at least summer break, though no official mandates have been made as of press time. The BHUSD originally extended home learning to May 4th. However, it's expected for the district to remain physically closed for longer.
Hello, my name is Jonah Farman, and I'm here to bring you this week's live KBEV weather forecast for the week of April 10th, 2020. For those of you who are wondering what the weather is like outside, since you're all in quarantine. This week, Los Angeles is seeing partly cloudy weather with cool temperatures from the low 70s to the 60s. Tomorrow, Saturday, brings warm temperature with a high of 65 down to a low of 55 degrees. On Sunday, the last day of the week, we will see partially cloudy skies with temperatures at a high of 65. Starting us up with a new week, Monday, we will be seeing a bit warmer temperatures with a high of a nice 68 to a low of 58 degrees Fahrenheit. On Tuesday, there will be a high of 68 degrees Fahrenheit. On Wednesday and Thursday, we will see a high of a sunny 71 degrees to warm things back up again. Thank you so much for watching this week's live KBEV weather forecast. I'm Jonah Farman. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Jonah, and good afternoon, Normans. Have you ever wondered if your shoes or clothes could track in the coronavirus to your home? There have been no documented cases of transmission of the novel coronavirus via clothing and shoes at this point. If you are taking care or frequently in close proximity to an individual with COVID-19, doing laundry often is an essential part of preventative hygiene. This includes, in particular, high-risk individuals such as healthcare workers. Most household detergents are sufficient to kill the virus when doing laundry. Make sure to stay safe and sanitary during your quarantine, Normans. Now, let's send it back to Jonah.
Thanks for watching this week's Norman News. I hope all of you guys are staying safe. I'm Eva Danesh, and we will see you next week.